Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, and I just want to share with you a report, really preliminary report from some of our best writers at LaRouche's Executive Intelligence Review, or EIR News Service, about what's happened with the damage from Helene, which merely underscores everything Lyndon LaRouche warned about, starting with his 1957 forecast of a collapse in the US economy because of what was happening with the automobile manufacturing industry. And first, I'm going to just show a few pictures, which I'm sure you've seen some of this. I'll make it large. Just some of the pictures from North Carolina, Tennessee, other places. This bridge. And I know that our traveling across the country or transporting goods is already very tenuous because there are many choke points. We don't have redundancy. We have bridges in a poor state of maintenance and repair. And if something goes down, you lose it. And that's what's apparently happened with the specially purified quartz, of which 75% of it in all of the world is made in this area. And obviously, you're not going to be able to get it places. Here's just another picture of what that water looks like with everything flowing through. And we'll take a look here at just the speed at which this water is flowing. Take a look at that video so you can imagine why there's so much loss of life when you see the speed and force of this water coming through. Really terrible. And then here's another clip, which is quite gut-wrenching, of someone trying to rescue a person. You can see there's a person in this vehicle. They are trying to get them out, even as the vehicle and the boat are being dragged into more and more dangerous waters. The vehicle is becoming more and more submerged. I'm showing this because it has a happy ending, which is that they finally succeed at pulling the person with a great deal of effort to safety, thank God. But now they're admitting that the death toll is approaching 200. And I'm going to read you this report, if you'll bear with me, because it just underscores what happens when you shut down your industrial economy. We've already seen it in the war between Ukraine and Russia. Russia is producing, I believe, triple what the US and the other NATO countries are producing combined in terms of shells, artillery, all of these kind of supplies. So guess what? We have no surge capacity. We have no surge capacity. We aren't able to rebuild. And as of this morning, there were still more than 1.2 million residents without power. Over 1,000 people are in shelters, and thousands of structures have been destroyed, as you might imagine: homes, factories, power plants, schools, churches, etc. But take the power sector. Apparently, at the high point of power outages during the storm, 6 million people were without electricity. But in many locations, power systems will have to be rebuilt. This is not a matter of just putting up a telephone pole or repairing a line. The entire thing was destroyed. So it says hundreds of substations were destroyed. There will be a need for hundreds of transformers and other components, which will create backlogs and pressure throughout the country. Agriculture, the farm sector, poultry. Almost half of all 9 billion chickens grown yearly for meat in the United States are raised and processed in the Southeast. Georgia is the top state for broiler chickens, processes 1.3 billion yearly. The Georgia governor, Brian Kemp, reports that 107 poultry facilities in his state were damaged or totally destroyed. Where will the financial credit and the physical inputs come from to reestablish chicken farming and processing? Also, I might say, and they do add, this may demonstrate why we want to have a lot of decentralized family farms and not mega monopoly food processing places where the animals are treated very badly and all kinds of peculiar things are done thanks to our cartels. But let's get back to decentralized family farming. At any rate, and what is written here, this could be an opportunity to replace the current cartel system of factory farming, but that's unlikely in the current Wall Street ruling paradigm. Now, I guess the good news is the Wall Street paradigm is soon to be over because this system is going to crash. The other question is the Carolinas. That's Georgia having lost 107 chicken processing facilities. The 2 feet of rain fell in 5 days. So the flooding is massive and it hit in higher parts of the Appalachian. And that's why you saw the rapid streams and landslides, etc. They write that of course, we've heard the town of Asheville was virtually obliterated. Many route miles and numerous bridges of the CSX train lines have been destroyed. Hundreds of miles of roads washed out. Roads and rail will take months to reopen and be rebuilt. The regional electricity grid is so badly damaged that the owner, Exelon, will have to rebuild the entire regional grid. Electric substation transformers, critical parts of grid reconstruction, face production backlogs of up to 10 years. 10 years we don't produce. Now, I think it's really important under these circumstances that we continue to send billions of dollars to Israel to carry out their atrocities in Gaza and assassinations, etc. That's urgent. And Ukraine, we should make sure. I mean, it's really sick. It shows you the priorities of the Biden-Harris administration. What kind of person would brag that Dick Cheney has endorsed them? I see a person who's written here, it's way worse than you could imagine. Exactly. I can't imagine it. And we don't produce. This is not China that builds a 57-story building in 3 days because they have thousands of workers and advanced material and they work in a synchronized way. We've been constructing the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway for 36 years. And I ran for governor of New Jersey in 2013 because I was so angry about the lack of response and inability to repair after Hurricane Sandy, which is minor. And that was horrific compared to the damage that we are seeing today. Now, one bright side, which also underscores that it is possible to mitigate these horrific storms if you keep up your infrastructure, you maintain all of your bridges, you have everything hardened and modernized. The Tampa General Hospital, which is on an island, apparently has portable, or not portable, but they have storm surge barriers that can be erected very quickly and can withstand up to 15 feet of water. That hospital was able to get those barriers up. They worked and the hospital made it. And you can see the videos where the water is all around, but those barriers protect the hospital. I realize that such flooding is not expected in the Appalachian Mountains. This is highly unusual, but nonetheless, I know if you look at the American Society of Civil Engineers report card for the United States, our dams, our levees, our bridges, our roads are all rated at C+ to D-. If all of our infrastructure were in A+ condition, I suspect many fewer people would be dead and missing right now, and the reconstruction time, the rebuilding time would be a lot shorter than 10 years. So this is an outrage. It's a perfect example that the government of the United States is not upholding the constitutional principle mandated in our Constitution, which is the whole point of government, is to uphold and promote the general welfare. So as you may know, I hope you know, I'm Diane Sayre. I'm an independent candidate on the LaRouche line in New York, running for U.S. Senate against military industrial complex darling Kirsten Gillibrand. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's change our country. Let's rebuild our industry. This kind of thing should not be happening, not anywhere, and not here in the United States.